guys, the name's Flippy. Oh Thorn, how you were a pain in the arse in Year 1 Destiny 1, and now grace us with your presence in Season 6 Destiny 2. Now, we are back with some Destiny 2, and yes, you heard it right,
THORN has returned.
And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all the steps to acquiring it. So without further ado,
let's flip and do this.
So to trigger the quest, you need to head to the European Dead Zone, and you need to spawn into the Tross Land. Once you spawn in, you need to keep walking through to the salt mines. Once you get there, you'll find a little teleporter thingy, which you basically just teleport yourself through. Once you're through the teleporter, simply head up the walkway, and on your left there'll be a hidden pathway. Once through this pathway, you'll find a mini sort of outpost. On the far left you'll find a campfire, and you'll simply have to sift through this and the quest will begin. You then need to head to Banshee in the tower to then start
Step 1.
So this part of the quest requires you to gather hydronic essences. You can do this by either completing bounties for Ashimir, by defeating warlocks in the Crucible, or by completing Nightfall Strikes. Nightfall Strikes grant the most efficient progress. So doing the daily bounties grants you 5 hydronic essences, whilst killing warlocks in the Crucible grants you 3. The best thing to do is to complete the 3 daily bounties at first to grant you a total of 15 hydronic essences. I would then recommend doing the Crucible, as you are most likely to encounter warlocks occasionally. Once this part of the quest is complete, you then move on to
Step 2.
So this step is very similar to step 1, the only difference is that it requires you to either complete Sloan bounties on Titan, defeat Titans in the Crucible, or complete blind well runs. Completing blind well runs grants the most efficient progress. Again, I would recommend completing Sloan bounties to get a total of 15 plating, and then simply jumping into the Crucible to kill Titans. Once this step is complete, you simply move on to
Step 3.
This step again is very similar to steps 1 and 2, the only difference being that it requires you to either complete Anabray bounties on Mars, defeat hunters in the Crucible, or by completing Escalation Protocol waves. Completing Escalation Protocol waves grants the most efficient progress. Again, just like steps 1 and step 2, I would recommend simply jumping into the Crucible, as the Crucible is populated with hunters. Once you have completed step 3, you move on to
Step 4.
Now this part of the quest is definitely by far the longest step. It requires you to defeat Guardians in the Crucible using Void Energy or hand cannons. Precision Streaks using Void hand cannons grants the most efficient progress. Note that progress is multiplied in the Iron Banner or in competitive Crucible matches. Just to let you know as well, dying in the Crucible does not impede progress. For this part, I really recommend using the Cold Sweat Trials hand cannon, as it is a Void hand cannon. I do also recommend equipping your Void subclass to improve efficiency. Now, you may think that doing competitive Crucible matches do grant the most progress, but to be honest, I jumped in and the progress was pretty slow. It is probably because I am pretty bad at competitive Crucible, but the way I managed to do it quite quickly was simply jumping into Rumble matches. This is because all the kills are guaranteed to be yours, and you are most likely to get a lot of progress. I was averaging around 12 to 20% per Rumble match. It really does depend on how many kills you get per match, but really it's your preference. If you're good at competitive Crucible, jump into competitive Crucible. If you just like quick play and Rumble, then go with that. After battling through this step, you move on to
Step 5.
First, you have to go to Tyra Khan on the farm, who will then give you the final step of this quest. This part of the quest requires you to defeat the Arbiters Sardav and Telesh, then defeat Zavathun's Song in an epic reprise of the strike Zavathun's Song on Titan. As it says here, you'll find the strike on Titan, and the strike has been renamed to the Chasm of Screams. Now, the modifiers of the strike are pretty brutal, so I'll definitely take note of them. This strike also has a recommended light level of 660. I did jump in at level 650, but luckily I had some help. Thank you to Deception Squad and Owen for helping me through this strike. So what you have to do here is simply go through the strike as you would normally, but on your way you'll encounter two massive knights. Simply defeat these and get to the boss room. Once you start the boss fight, it is important to just weaken him and not defeat him as quickly as possible. This is because if you weaken him, two knights will spawn and you have to kill them. Once you kill those knights, you can then finish the boss off. Once you complete this strike, the Thorn is now yours. Congratulations. Guys, if you did enjoy this walkthrough, leaving a like would be much appreciated. Do let me know in the comments which of the methods you prefer and whether or not you want me to do a review of the Thorn. Don't forget to subscribe if you so wish, and as always, I'll see you when I see you.